Alrighty. So I haven't talked about Anna Kasparian yet on this channel that I know of. Maybe I have and I've forgotten, but I've avoided talking about her for a pretty simple reason. I've made comments before about how I don't want to do content on other people who talk about leftism in this space if I can help it, because I think that tearing each other down doesn't do a whole lot of good. I think it's more pragmatic for us to work together, even if we have different views. And I've even mentioned a number of people I'd be okay working with, despite a lot of friction with or a lot of different views we have. However, this is a unique situation. I think maybe Anna's shown a bit of development that means that I don't necessarily have to worry about shooting from across the aisle now. But we're going to get into the fan art section, and then we're going to get into this. So, the first piece of fan art we have is from Emerson J. I'm sorry it keeps happening in my head. Suris taking the Florida governor to court. Oh my. Hold on, I need to... We're supposed to trust this guy? Collective jury confusion. Hey, I am very trustworthy. I'm saving the children! They all start cheerily clapping. It's a Republican jury. Fuck, I'm losing the trial. The next one we have here is from Shady Shion, a chibi slime Suris. Aw, that's adorable. And the last one we have is from Scarlet Nightmare. An odd fact, Suris was the first VTuber avatar I ever actually saw and helped kickstart my hobby of making VTuber avatars. I don't do fan art often at all, but I felt like it, so here, have a goth Suris. This is phenomenal. Holy shit. This is cool. I like this. As always, everybody, thank you all for your fan art submissions. If you want your fan art to be shown in a future video, the best way to do so is to drop it into the fan art section of the Discord. With that said, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, and let's go ahead and get into this. So, I wasn't gonna do anything on Anna. I was gonna let this situation be what it is and do what it's going to do outside of me. There's other things I need to be talking about that are not tearing down other people who believe in left-wing values of some kind. But then this happened, and I started feeling kind of weird about it, but let's go.
Those people that he thinks highly of, bitches, and the R word, is that what he does? That's what he does?
Yeah, he's got a curious way of showing that high regard, but feels justified in informing his audience that he disagrees and was shocked by the response he got for Anna.
Listen, I think Vaush is trash, okay? And if you actually genuinely do watch Vaush on a regular basis, you also know he's trash, which makes me wonder, why do you keep writing into us, urging us to have that trash on our show?
So, before we go any further, Anna, the reason that people would want Vaush to come on your show is the Young Turks historically has had a left-leaning, I don't want to use the word bias because we all have biases, but they've historically had a left-leaning bent, right? So, Vaush, being one of the largest creators on the YouTube and Twitch platforms, being a voice for leftism in one flavor or another, that would be why people want him on your show, because they want y'all to talk at some point. There are people who want me to do things with other leftist creators as well for these same reasons. Not because there's anything necessarily to be gained through those conversations, but there are people who see us all as some form of ally. You can not like Vaush if you want. I personally consider him a pretty decent guy and a friend. He's been on my channel a few times. I've been raided by him multiple times on Twitch, and I don't think that he's that bad of a person, especially when you talk to him not on a stream where he's trying to be more bombastic and verbose. Isn't he just unironically doing the Vaush bad thing? You prefer Vaush as he is rather than as a right-wing grifter? That'd be... Seeing Vaush as a right-wing person would be scary. I also am genuinely concerned about anybody who believes that he's right-wing. Said, if Vaush is trash, why has he been on your show in the past, Anna? Does anyone remember like a month ago when she interviewed him? Yeah.
And yes, Vaush, I think you're garbage. I think you're trash. Found a lot of interesting things about what you had to say about the transgender community. Tried to scrub the internet of those videos. I found them. Really curious.
Wait, when did Vaush try to scrub the internet of anything he's done? Like, even going as far back as, like, the Poppy drama, as far as I'm concerned, he's basically been public about every single one of those incidents. And has not tried to scrub any of it off the internet. Yeah, guys, can you get me, like, a tiny shred, a little scrap of evidence that Vaush has tried to scrub the internet of some of this older shit? Okay.
That's why you thought it was okay to say the kinds of things about them that you did, including the fact that you think that they have mental illness, they're struggling with mental illness. That's what this is about.
I have a question. If you are a minority group in the United States, a place that is primarily known for a level of various levels of its own bigotry towards its own citizens, even when it claims to be a place of freedom for all, if you are in one of those minority groups that the United States is currently targeting, as trans people are, 8th level of genocide and all that, would you not expect a certain level of mental health problems to come with that? I don't know, just maybe? Gee, being unsafe in schools has caused a higher level of mental health issues in kids. It stands to reason that there would be more trans people who have mental health issues. It doesn't mean that there's something bad going on there, unless, Anna, you're... I don't know, helping further stigmatize mental health? That's the only way I could come at seeing that as bad. Honestly. There's also a difference between the statements, trans people are mentally ill, which is a statement you would see a lot of times on right-wing media because they think that being trans is a mental illness in and of itself, versus a lot of trans people, or even most trans people in the United States, are mentally ill. These are two different statements. One is a statement that is incredibly bigoted and filled with stigmatization, and the other one is a depressing view of your idea of reality. If you see a minority group in a place that is constantly harming people, it stands to reason that that minority group would have mental health issues. Mental health issues that we are exacerbating, and in many cases causing. Tales of Atonement says, Benny Carallo left the Young Turks over her bullshit. There's a reason I've been seeing the phrase the Young Turfs showing up a lot lately on Twitter, and I refuse to call it X. It's okay to dead name Twitter.
They're the most toxic people on the internet. I've got the receipts. I'm ready to show them. But calling me a bitch...
Go ahead, show them. I mean, seriously, it's kind of cowardly to do this whole, I've got the receipts! I can't show them! Just show it. Just put it up there. Again, I guarantee you it's going to be one of two scenarios, as it always is with Vaush. Either it's going to be something that he goes, yeah, no, that's the thing I did. That was dumb. Like the tactical N-word. Where he has to go, yeah, no, that's a thing that I did. It was not a good thing that I did, but it's a thing I did. Or it'll be something like one of those I Hypocrite clips, where he grabs some way that Vaush says something without any context and throws it up on Twitter and everybody gets mad, because if there's one thing that the right wing knows very, very well, it's the ways to make leftists angry. The only people who know how to make leftists angrier than the right wing is other fucking leftists! Naki Bree says tactical N-word. So the incident here was Vaush went onto the kill stream, and while he was on there, they tried to egg him on and goad him, saying like, oh yeah, but there's some words you won't say. Like even coming on our show, there's won't. And he just went like, oh, words like, and then he said the N-word. And Vaush's reasoning for it, which I've watched his video on it before. It's not one of the ones I talked with him about. I think the one I talked with him about was there was a misogynist thing that happened, and I spoke with him about that. But with the tactical N-word thing, his reasoning was he wanted to unseat all of them from where they were. Because the position of a lot of people on the kill stream has always been that there's no words, no phrases. There's no things that'll get you canceled. And if you're on the left, then you have to constantly be worried about this. And Vaush was just like, no, here's the thing. Here's the thing that I'm just going to do right now, and fuck you. Now, later on, Vaush would go to say, yeah, no, that wasn't a good thing for me to do. I shouldn't have done that. Because there's other ways to handle that besides just dropping the word. You can say, like, hey, it's not that I'm unwilling to say the word, it's that I don't have any use for the word. The word doesn't have a space in my vocabulary. Now, I understand if lesser words are okay for you, if you need to use them because you don't have anything better, then go ahead, but I don't need to. There's other better ways to approach it than just dropping the word live. So everyone makes some mistakes, Vaush is a good bean. That's kind of where I get there as well. Like, I've never had the opinion that Vaush is a really bad person. Now, when I first discovered him, I was still very primed against things like, say, communist imagery, and I had a negative opinion about him in the very beginning then because of that, but yeah. What's your opinion on the name? I have no idea. Person who is first time in my chat. I have no idea. So it wasn't an N-word aimed at everybody. No, he didn't do what, like, Sargon of Akkad did, where he said, like, no, you're acting like a, and then uses the word. He was just saying the word into the aether. Still not a thing to do. Still not a thing I would do. But it was a thing that happened. Like, you're going to find stuff like that, where Vaush goes, yeah, that was a thing I did, I shouldn't have done it. You're going to find stuff where he stands behind it and goes, no, that's a thing that I 100% meant to do. The misogyny incident, I remember, was a thing he stood by. And then you're going to find stuff that is completely clipped out of... It's a car. I don't care about cars, so I have no opinion. You're going to find a lot of stuff that's clipped out of context, too. It's usually one of those three categories. And whether you agree with the stuff that Vaush stands by, whether you agree that he should or shouldn't disavow certain things he's done, just show the thing. If you have a disagreement, just show the thing.
It's turf. Because I just don't think that it's, politically advantageous to refer to women as birthing people or people with a uterus.
Okay, so, ma'am, do you or do you not agree that trans women are women? If you agree that trans women are women, then you agree that, hell, do you agree that women who have had their ovaries removed or their uterus removed, are they still women? If you agree that they're all women, but they don't fall into the category of person who can carry a child, then there's a reason why you would use the term birthing person. Now, is it politically expedient to do so? Probably not. I still use the term woman in just about every scenario there, but is there an understandable reason why that term is used, especially in legal paperwork? Then, yeah, there is. There's a reason that term is used.
That's terrible. I can't do that. But you can say some of the most disgusting things about the transgender community and then pretend like you have the moral high ground?
Can you show the things that he said about the trans community? Go ahead.
You're garbage, Vaush. I don't respect you, which is why I don't want to talk to you. It's that simple.
Ignoring the time that you did, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. So, look, guys, the thing I can't stand is when people say crazy, horrible things about us, and they go, why are you grabbing me? Why are you grabbing me?
Attention. He wants it so bad. Congratulations, Vaush. You got the attention you so desperately want. You're trash. That's what I think of you.
It's like, well, I'm just calling you guys the R word and then stuff. But why are you attacking me?
When has Vaush gone, why are you attacking? When has he done that? Again, this is a whether you like Vaush or not, whether you think he's a good guy or not. When has he done this? When has he done this particular thing? I said their side is very flimsy. It is. And specifically, when has he done this in relation to the Young Turks? In any way that is not fucking hyperbole that you would do on stream anyway, because he's a streamer, kind of like how Chunk is doing this right now, because he's streaming. Okay,
so guys, it's not just about Vaush. To all the criers out there who say horrible, horrible things about us. And then when we tweak you back, I don't need your stupid tears. Go away, okay? So fine, you like, I mean, what am I gonna, like, look, I'm willing to talk to almost anybody. So you want to debate, what are we gonna debate? What are we gonna debate? I don't even, your positions are not consistent. So am I debating the Vaush that hates trans people or the Vaush pretending to love trans people?
What? I'm sorry, what? Is there a Vaush that hates trans people and then is pretending to like them? Again, I'm speaking not from the perspective of a viewer of Vaush. I used to watch Vaush. And then I just became friends with Vaush. I don't tend to view a lot of the content from most of my friends. I don't know why that thing happens in my brain, but like, I watched Xanderhall back in the Pig Puncher days, and then we became friends. I stopped watching Xanderhall. Me and Vaush became friends. I stopped watching Vaush. Me and Telltale became friends. I stopped watching Telltale. It's just kind of how it happens. I don't know why my brain works this way, but it do. There's only a few friends that I do watch. Like, I watch Gilly, and I watch Nick, and I watch Wayne. I try to watch Pup stuff, but he puts out a lot of stuff. Like, holy shit, please go subscribe to Channel Pup. He puts out a lot of shit. Like, a lot of shit. Dude deserves a pat on the back for the shit he puts in. So does Telltale still a furry? Owen's never been a furry, but he's definitely always been a furry. To all the criers out there, he says, while whining, that I wish women's health issues were spoken about more. I wish they were too. You know, in places where it matters, instead of just here on the internet where nobody gives a shit what any of us think.
I don't know who I'm debating.
What's hot right now online?
Okay, where's the money? Where's the money?
Yeah.
Oh, have I got you to talk about me?
So for the last 4-5 years, Vaush has been doing stuff. He hasn't moved a whole lot on those political positions. He hasn't changed what he's talked about a whole lot in those political positions. Not as far as I've been able to tell. But okay, sure, why not? So why are we talking about this? Said woman and uterus seems to be feared, I guess. Well, when places like the New York Post, which have an interesting track record of a somewhat right bias with mixed factual results, when they're writing stuff like this about you, you've probably taken a step maybe a bit too far. Just a little bit. This piece from the New York Post is called The Awakening of Anna Kasparian, When the Left Meets Reality. What happens when leftism meets reality? Anna Kasparian, co-host of the left-wing show The Young Turks, recently found out. Kasparian railed against the financial hardship of retrofitting her California condo to allow for electrical vehicle charging. Holy fucking shit, if there is not a more privileged line that I have read in a long time. What? Governor Gavin Newsom, who committed to driving California straight into the ground, signed an executive order mandating to end gas car sales by 2035, and very expensive charging stations will have to be installed throughout the state. A distressed Kasparian described the massive fucking loan her building must take out to install the stations. Her building. It like a building, like a series of buildings you own, or like a building that you rent in which case it's not your fucking problem. What? Government mandates make things expensive all the time. As newer technologies become more adopted by more people, infrastructure has to be built and it costs money. That's basic, Anna. That's how the world works. She says, I want to do something in response to climate change. That's not my issue here. My issue is that we're forced to make all these changes that are a financial burden, a giant inconvenience with little to no help, and goes into a rant about how the government should just give me money instead of offering tax credits for things like charging stations. Well, yes, all of us want to do something as long as we don't actually have to do anything. Her plea for the government to just pay for it is further proof leftists don't understand how anything works. The government paying for it is you paying for it. There isn't a magical money tree where the government plucks from its pet projects. The government doesn't have a side hustle or a part-time job with a little extra cash. Oh, boy. Fine, Arikemi. Oh, whoa. You don't have to be sorry for that one. I'm fine with that one. Also, Lord Azar, thank you for redeeming your points for an... fucking degen. Jesus. So the weird part is her whining about charging stations when I've never heard her say a word against parking requirements. So the part about this that I was interested in is as you get down here, mentions that she gets in trouble with her political allies when she finds terms such as birthing persons and persons with uteruses degrading to women. Well, they are. Are you a person with a uterus? I'm not saying that you are only the uterus. Jesus fucking Christ. For this, lefties called her names and urged her to stop commenting altogether. Oh, she probably should. But she shouldn't. Kasparian isn't a conservative. It's unlikely she's even a moderate. But she's the epitome of what happens when a progressive thinks her ideas through. There are no easy fixes to complex problems like climate change, and rearranging the language so that 0.1% of the population feels included at the expense of everyone else is crazy. It's okay to say so. Woke conformity pressures people to parrot the lines. Good for Kasparian for saying enough. When you're at the point where this is what's being written about you by your opposition, maybe, just maybe, just a little bit, stop. Just maybe quit. Stop. Stop talking about trans people or your opinions on it. Just walk away. She's definitely not salty at all about any of this. When somebody like Anna accuses somebody like Vaush, who is one of the least tactful people on the internet, of changing his opinions because that's where the money is, it doesn't make any sense to me. You're going to call him trash. I can understand if you have that opinion. I have friends who have that opinion of Vaush. I can understand having it. I don't have it, but you do you. Also, apparently, Suris knew how to read my name, which I didn't expect anyone to know how to say it. Oh, well, neat. It's a very, very weird scenario. And it's surprising to me that we're seeing more and more of this from Anna. Now, I don't know a lot about Anna, but I know a little bit about the Young Turks just as an organization and what they try to push out. And it's weird that the anti-Vaush train has kind of pushed itself into them as well. It's a very, very awkward scenario. And I don't know how to approach it, aside from going, hey guys, maybe birthing person isn't really the worst term in the world. Maybe it's okay, because there's nothing about being a birthing person that makes you not a woman if you are a woman. So the Young Turks wants that grift money. It's hard for me to say it's a grift. It's hard for me to call it a grift. At the end of the day, this is a lot of streamer drama, functionally. And it's why I do not really like commenting on it all that much, because it's toxic as shit. Anna could be avoiding Vaush because she thinks that she might lose a debate with him. I don't know. That's probably not what's going on here. This seems more like the beginning of a blood feud. If I were to make a prediction, though, on what would happen with the debate between Anna and Vaush, I think that Anna's more tactful, and as a result, and by tactful, I mean willing to say things in a way that the majority of people in the United States, including the Democratic Party, would likely agree with, not necessarily the terminally online left. It is more likely that people in normal spheres that are not, again, terminally online, would end up agreeing with Anna in any debate with Vaush, even if everything Vaush did in the debate was correct and everything he said was correct. The fact is, outside of the online leftism space, Vaush's name is not a great one. Maybe it's just me being in Georgia. So maybe it's best they don't have this particular debate. But either way, I don't like that this is happening. I don't like seeing trans people thrown under the bus for whatever this is. I don't like seeing what basically amounts to a giant beef that has a ton of implications politically be the thing that people are talking about a bunch here. I don't like it. Because here's what happens. You start getting the left, online or not, divided into their factions. And eventually, you're going to get people who begin in, these are the people on the left who side with Anna, these are the people on the left who side with Vaush. And of course, there's going to be other people who are in between. But eventually, you're going to get people who are actually listening to those issues. You're going to go past that initial, the creator they like the more, and then you're going to get, well, I believe that we should have more unions, but, you know, the trans bathroom issue, don't really think that they should be in the right bathrooms. I don't like that idea, because I'm just worried that young girls are going to get assaulted by men dressing as women. And then when you get those people, they're going to find themselves in one of those two camps. Maybe as a creator, if you're watching this at any point, Anna, maybe it's a good idea to ask yourself, which of those camps are you going to find yourself in? And which of those camps are you creating for your audience? Are you creating a community where you're going to have that trans inclusivity, the LGBTQ community coming to you? Or are you going to have that community where minorities are swept under the bus for political expediency? It may be the case that right now more people have an issue with the term birthing person, but I'm also going to throw a hot take out there. I don't give a shit about polling data here. I don't think the term fucking matters. I don't. I really, truly don't. Whether it's the term that gets adopted or whether it's the term that doesn't, I don't think it matters. Outside of legal paperwork, in which case you're not going to read the damn shit anyway, and outside of anything that is written on a political forum, and again, you're not reading that shit anyway. You're not going to have to see this in your regular everyday life. Nobody's going to come up to you and go, "You're looking like a rather attractive birthing person." That's just not a thing that's going to happen. I think people who get upset about this term are getting upset about nothing, because it's a nothing issue. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, everybody, insert end of video tagline here.